2 minutes after 2. So we're very excited to have Sarah Gibson present. She is with Safety National, and she's going to talk about some of the great resources that Safety National provides to our membership. So take it away, Sarah.
All right. Well, thanks, Dan. Everybody can hear me okay? I want to thank you so much for having me today. I know your team, Dan, over at Georgia Municipals is a great risk management team already. You're a super sophisticated pool account of ours for a long time, and we just want to be here to help you. Sometimes it's hard because you guys are so good. We're trying to find things that we can help you with, but you've already got a lot of resources for your members. You put on great webinars and resources and tools and newsletters, and I've gone on your website and seen all your great stuff. So, but yeah, we want to try to help where we can. So we want to just make sure that all of your members are just familiar with our resources. And so we're going to just today take some time and just real briefly go over all of our resources. Almost all are free. So free is always a good selling point. So, all right, so let me just dive right in. Let me share my screen. And I know, Dan, you're going to monitor any kind of chat. Feel free to kind of interrupt me.
Your screen is showing right now, so you're good.
Okay, so let me see if I'm going to, oh, it's already showing. Is it showing the Safety National?
Yes, it's showing your Safety National website.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so yeah, sorry, this is a little bit newer of a tool for me, so hopefully we can just holler out if I'm having any technical problems and you can't see or hear me. So, okay, well, let's just dive right in. So, yep, this is our Safety National website. You see, it's just safetynational.com. And we do really have a lot of our resources here on our website. So that's really one I want to start with and show you where you can get to a lot of our tools. So yep, if you just go to safetynational.com and you go to our risk services, you'll see I'm going to touch on most of these risk services today, but we're going to start with our MAP client services, and that's just an acronym to stand for Management, Analytics, and Prevention. These are our suite of complementary resources for our clients. So as you see, they're broken up in different industries. We'll go down here to public entity and get started there. And what you'll see here is these are all of our MAP services. There is some overlap, so I'll kind of bounce around a little bit. But if you're familiar with our resources, you just need a refresher or you want to dive right in, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over everything really quick. And if you want to use any of the resources, you have any questions on the resources, I'll just have you reach out to Dan and we can do a follow-up. We can do a deeper dive, or I can individually help you get set up on any of our resources. So, I'm always here for any follow-up we need to do. So you'll see here, if you click on any of these links, you'll get a little bit of a deeper dive into some of our tools. As you see, some of the tools I'm going to skip over. I'm going to skip over our HR Essentials and our law enforcement liability. So those are for our liability, and unfortunately not yet. You guys don't carry our liability, so we'll skip over those today. But everything else with our focus on safety and employees in the workplace are all available for everybody. So all of these tools, if you want to jump ahead at any time, I want to highlight, and I'll do this a couple times so you remember how to get access to these tools, but it's just this register now button right down here. If you click register now, so that will give you a form and you can just put in your name. It does help us if you put GMA right here, dash your town. That kind of helps us put you in the bucket with Georgia Municipal. And then go ahead and fill out the rest of the information. And then this is where you'll click to whatever resource you'd like to register for. And again, we're going to go over almost all these resources. Again, we'll be skipping the HR and the law enforcement, but everything else. And then I'll also explain how some of these tools are kind of embedded into some of other ones. So you just agree, click, you're not a robot. And then within about 48 hours, somebody from our main office down in St. Louis will get back to you. So So let me go ahead and go back to our risk services, our MAP client services, or I can just go back here. And we're going to start with, we'll touch on all of these, but we're going to start with our safety training source. And if I click that link, it'll give you a little description, but that's, in short, it's our LMS. And I know you guys also have access to Local GovU, which is another LMS. So, you know, whatever, this is completely free, completely unlimited. I'll give you a little tour of what it all contains and what it looks like. So whatever works for you. So this gives you a little description. These are print catalogs. So if you're, you know, you want a print catalog, you can click on municipalities and it'll give you a print and you can print it out and see all the courses. But I'm going to go ahead and open up our safety training source. So this is what it looks like. And this is my version. So when you get registered, you'll get a login, and this is the tool. It is run on Safety Skills is the vendor. So we contract with Safety Skills. Again, this is completely unlimited, completely free. And I'm just going to spin through this a little bit. With any learning management tool, you know, the setup is kind of really the hardest part to get it set up, and we can help you with that. So we're not going to do a deep dive on how to run the program or how to set users up right today, but if you want to use that, I could definitely do a secondary one on that, because we just want to make sure we cover everything right now. So if you click on courses, you'll see, we scroll down at the bottom, you'll see there's over 1,000 different courses. So as you see, they're alphabetized, everything from A to Z, everything along safety, OSHA compliance. You'll see a lot of them are micro learnings. So if they're micro learning, they're 10 minutes or less. So just like any LMS, this is where you put in an employee's name and then you start assigning them the courses. And then it keeps a log that, you know, Joe Smith took a course, took him so long to do it, he completed it. And then at any time you can print a record, you know, you can print all your employees that took accident procedures, or you can, you know, run a report on that particular employee. So, you know, this program also has some other sprinklings of like active listening. There is some like mental health. I know I saw that on your website. You guys are also doing a great job with focusing on wellness. And I think that's really, we found that so integral to really deal with safety. You know, we've always so many times been focused on the hazard, but health and wellness plays hand in hand with that. So you'll see we've kind of starred some courses. We are always adding new courses to this platform, and these are our newest course offerings. So I know you guys also have police and fire. These are courses for first responders. We partnered with a group, Resiliency Group, and they're a group of therapists that work with first responders on building this resiliency strategy. So you'll see there's 3 different courses listed here. There's one for your personal, there's one for a peer approach, and then as a leader, building a culture of resiliency. So just wanted to highlight that. These are our newest courses. Again, you can sign it to people. We just really want to help our clients in that, you know, that first responder world, which is so hard with all the things that they have to see, and to really focus on that. You'll see we also have courses for office ergonomics. Again, this is another one where Safety National built this tool and put it on this platform, so you can assign this, and it really helps an employee go through their office, how to adjust their chair and their workstation, and then they can actually take an assessment at the end. So that assessment can be sent to somebody if they need help, or a third party, and do that office ergonomic assessment. The next thing you see here, we have videos on demand, and I actually already pulled that up. So this is a link where you can assign people to go ahead and take videos, or you can use this tool to actually play videos. Say like we're doing today, and we're having a webinar discussion. You can go to this tool, and let me go ahead and pull it up. I've already got it open here. You'll see there's a huge another catalog of just these on demand. So these wouldn't be tied directly to a user, but you could play these in a online or in person. You can see just general safety. I'll give you a little taste. You can see all these different titles here. And again, you just play them. They have their times listed here. Some are in multiple languages. And then if you did want to go back to the LMS after you played one of these videos and you wanted to, you could go back to the LMS and then create a course, create a special course to say, oh, I ran this course on, whatever we picked. We talked about hand and power tool safety. We watched this course. We talked about it. They all have, I can click on it. They all have an exam. So it's more of a printable exam. So again, more for a classroom application. The difference with these they're live actors. So it's just a different kind of learning, whereas all the other courses in the LMS are computer generated courses. So just again, a variety of ways to do training. And then you can still record it. You can just do it on its own, and you can record it here by adding a course and creating a course. So this just has a lot of flexibility. So I could definitely spend an hour on how to use this tool. I really just want to give you the highlights. You can search for course by course name. So you can, like lockout. If I want to see what kind of lockout courses here, it'll bring up all the lockout, tag out type courses. I could also erase that. And there's some pre-made filters for course searching. There's one on municipalities. I just have to find it. And then, so the system's going to automatically filter for, let's see how many they find. They found 99 courses that they think would be things for municipalities, such as chainsaw safety. I don't know how many bears you have in Georgia, but there's some bear training here, confined space. So you get the idea. Lots and lots of snakes. So anyway, lots and lots of courses here. So you can, something for everybody, lots of different languages, as you see. I do like this LMS. It's a little different than some other LMSs in that it will tell you when you click on the course. Let me give you a little taste, like active listening. Again, it's a computer generated course, ask questions throughout. You can go ahead and watch a demo. It will tell you here, actually I click kind of a bad one. It will tell you if it's offered in other languages. And this LMS, if it's offered in other languages, when you can just go ahead and assign the course to your employees, and then the employee decides on what language they want to take the course in. So you don't have to know, okay, does Sally speak best in Spanish? Does she train best in Spanish? Does she want to take it in Spanish? She can select that. She can decide if she wants to take it in Spanish, she wants to take it in English. So you don't need to assign separate courses for that. So as you see, those are all the courses. Just jumping through really quick, you'll see users. All my users are from the Parks and Rec program, and you can assign them. There's a different hierarchy. So I've got mainly learners, and I've got a couple administrators. So the hierarchy will determine on what access they have and who can assign what to who. The standard learner won't see all these features. The standard learner will just, when they log in, they'll just see what they're assigned. So I have the full owner capability. So I'll see all the users, and I can do all the assignments. So again, if this is a tool you want to use, we can have a separate session on getting you set up on this tool. So a lot of features with this. Obviously, you can run reports, you can edit assignments, you can upload a whole group of users at once. So again, if this is something we want to use, we can revisit that. So, all right, Dan, you got any questions out there? Anybody want to have any questions on this?
No questions at this point in time.
Okay, so we'll keep moving on. So as I flip back, that's our safety training source. You'll see this also when you log into the tool, safe skills. Sorry, let me pop back. This does have, when you go to question mark, this has a ton of training. So it has a huge knowledge base, a huge how-to video playlist. So at any time, you can also go to safety skills. They can help you. So there's lots of ways. This is a really user-friendly course. I just wanted to point that out really quick. So the safety training source, again, completely unlimited. You can put as many users in. You can take as many courses as you want. there's no limit. So completely free. So that's always a good selling point, always a good price. Okay, so that's our safety training source. You'll see, we already touched on, you'll see we have listed here in our list like office ergonomics. That's within the safety training source in the LMS. So you assign that out. To save some time, I didn't get into, we do have a lot of defensive and distracted driving courses, again, in the safety training source where you assign those. We also have the SERVE program, and as it says here, it's short for Emergency Responder Vehicle Education. So that was where we found yet another vendor. It was on queue, and we put that in safety training source. So that's yet another program, custom-made program that's in safety training source that you can assign to people. And the difference with that is it's a computer-generated program, but it's gamified learning. So it'll show you driving an ambulance or driving an emergency vehicle, and it really focuses on going through intersections and distractions. So things like the radio will pop up with emergency calls and things like that. They'll kind of encourage like a distraction, and then it will ask you a question. It also has just a standard defensive driving course for just anybody who drives. And things will pop up like you're driving along and the cell phone will pop up and maybe the radio will turn on and it'll say, oh, what was the speed limit back there? And you're like, I don't know, I was distracted. So just again, another kind of learning module, which is all within the safety training source. So you, again, can assign learners to all of these courses within that one program. Okay, so I'm going to flip over, leave that one for a little bit. We can always come back if anybody has any questions. I'm going to move over to our Safety Essentials online. If you click on it, you'll see it just brings up a description. So at any time you have full access to this, just go into our Safety National webpage under Risk Services. Our Safety Essentials online is a partnership with BLR, which is Business and Legal Reports. You might be familiar with them. They have this library of resources, and I'm going to show that to you, but here's just a summary of all the resources. So when we click on that tool, I've already got it open up here, it looks like this. So we have it branded for our Safety National logo, but again, it is BLR. And this is really for the safety manager, so of your municipality, or the risk manager of your municipality. So this isn't for everybody, but we do have plenty of licenses we can give out to those key people. So those are the key safety managers or risk managers who are putting in those programs for the municipality. So I'm going to cover this kind of quickly. I have to keep an eye on our time. I know everybody's time is valuable, and I appreciate everybody's time today. So again, if we want a deeper dive, I can always come back to this and do a deeper dive, but I'm just going to briefly touch on some of these widgets in this program. So our first one here is we had BLR create a widget just for us, and we just have this is just a spot where we're putting us Safety National risk managers are putting some best practices we find. So it's just a file folder for us. So right now you'll see we just have some driving things, some driving best practices in here. So we hope to build on this as we go. So far we haven't built too much out, but that's just one little spot where we're putting stuff. So we'll go back to the tool. This is where they've taken everything in the tool and comprised it into one widget for everything coronavirus. So we're hoping we get away from coronavirus. So we'll leave that for now. At any time, you can search the entire tool using the search bar. So you can search by keyword. And again, this library is really deep. And I'll show you with the training materials, all the different topics. So let's jump over to training materials to show that. When you bring up the training materials, you'll see they have a lot of filters over here because you see they have a lot of stuff in this platform. So to go through it all is a lot. So say you've got a topic, you want to just start with a topic. Say we've got aerial lifts. So already, as you see with aerial lifts, they had 19 things on aerial lifts. So you can just click aerial lifts and it will bring up all those 19 items. But say you just want toolbox talks on aerial lifts. So they have 2 of those. And so they're going to filter it out right here. So you've got aerial lift safety preventing falls, and you've got aerial lift preventing tip overs and collapses. So I'm going to go on to preventing falls. And what you can do here, you can do 2 things. You can either bookmark it, which is just like it says, it's just like a web page. You can create under your account all your bookmarks. So say you want to go back to it later. Okay, well, this is interesting. I just want to bookmark it. You can see my bookmarks. I've got things, trainings to do. You can throw things. You can create your own folders. So you can do that, or you can download the whole document. I'm going to go ahead and download it. And, pausing my screen sharing while I did that. Okay, that wasn't, let's see what we do. Okay, hopefully you can still see everything, right, Dan? We're all good? Okay.
We are all good.
Okay, all right, so this is what you get. When you download it, this is what you get. You get a toolbox talk. So the 2 things, and you'll see BLR has their logo right here. And if we scroll down, they might have it at the bottom too. So yeah, they have their little BLR and the copyright. So with this entire tool, again, there's a lot of things we can download, all kinds of documents. BLR only has 2 rules with this tool. One is if it has the copyright, like it does down here, you need to keep just the BLR and the little copyright. So it's marked that this is their product. The other thing is that if you can use this any way you want, basically, you just can't put it on your main web page for the whole wide world to see. You can either email it out directly to folks, or you can put it on an employee login, as long as it's behind a firewall, your interest site, something like that, just so their content's not out there for everybody. They want it just for customers. So, and you guys are all a customer because you're a customer of Safety National. So, but you can take, if you have a PDF writer, you can take this off, you can put your own logo, you can brand it. You just have to keep this one little BLR at the bottom, any kind of copyright. You can take this yellow bar off if you want. You can erase it with a PDF writer. Again, brand it to whatever you want. Just keep the little copyright and don't put it on your main page. Those are the only 2 things. So yeah, there's just a ton of tools like this. So let's go back to the tool. Go back. This is under training, the training resources tab. You'll see there's 7-minute trainers, there's PowerPoints, there's audio presentations. So this is all stuff that is just downloadable. Unlike the LMS that we just had, the safety training source that we reviewed, that's attached per person. This is just to, present either in a classroom or a webinar or send out to folks. So you'll see the topics are just all, everything from bloodborne, all OSHA compliance driven stuff, all these type of programs. So it just goes on and on. So some are multiple languages. So you'll see if I unclick that, you might see some different languages, a lot in English and Spanish. So I think I still have it clicked under airlift. You can clear all filters. That gets you back to where you were before. So a lot of stuff that's in the training tab, and there's different ways to get around this tool. It defaults me up to the training tab, but we can go back to tools and you'll see the little widgets. So that was the one we were in before. It has a lot, BLR keeps on top of regulatory activity. So it has a lot of regulatory activity. So if we click that widget, it automatically goes to all new, but you can also click just all regulatory activity. And we'll go down to Georgia. So you'll see there's 19, they have 19 regulations for everything in Georgia. So you'll see they're all listed here. If you want to scroll down, narrow this down a little bit more, you can click on a category or a topic. You'll see the numbers here on how many regulations they have, whether or not they're final. You can search under final regulations. So if we click final, and say we just want to look at fire prevention. So this is regulations in Georgia on fire and final regulations. So again, just a lot of information, and these are, you'll see the dates. You know, some of these, yeah, this is recently as last year. There was some licensure regulations passed in Georgia. So bouncing around really fast. So that is training materials. They also have oops, that was regulatory activity. They also have, you can build it out as a chart, so you can look at more, kind of a different view. Again, focusing on regulatory activity. It's a little slow. Here we go. And this, again, brings it up by topic. So you'll see here lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of topics. We'll just stay at the top. We'll stick with aerial lifts. Okay, we want to look at what's the regulations on, I mean, you can click all of these. We'll keep it simple. We'll just go aerial lifts and fall protection. Okay, so now we're going to select our state. We're going to go to Georgia. And if you want to look at Georgia, and forgive me, I'm not sure, are you guys a federal?
We are not on OSHA. We don't have, over our municipalities, there is no
Nothing.
jurisdiction.
Okay. Okay, well, let's see what, so they should probably say that. Okay, so municipalities are not, but so this is just general OSHA. Somebody's saying, oops, oh no, what happened? It was saying I was having internet problems, which is strange. Are we back? Okay. Okay, so this is just generic. So this is looking at federal. So this would be maybe not, you know, you can apply it how you want, but this is the rule, the federal rule, and Georgia for public or private people with their rules apply, no state specific. So yeah, so that's that tool. You can build charts to look up regulatory if you have more of a topic. This just shows like all regulatory. It has, I'm not gonna, this one's a little bit more involved, but it's a plan builder. So it has, you know, you need a bloodborne, you need a HAZCOM, you need a lockout tagout. Everything's in there. You can customize it. It's just a plug and play. You put in your municipality name, you put in key people. It helps you build a plan. So maybe if you already have a plan and you want to see what they say is a best practice plan, you can use it that way. So whatever. Skipping right ahead, it has a safety data sheet search. So this is not a safety data sheet manager. I'll show you just really quick. Like if we look for acetone and we leave all of it blank, it's going to come up with like 100 safety data sheets for acetone, and they'll all be PDFs. So you can just download them and either put them in a manager if you have a manager, or however you manage your safety data sheets, whether, you know, we like to print them where the chemicals are being used. You have a shared drive where you put them with your chemical inventories. And you do need to do a little bit of management. This is just, you will be able to find your safety data sheet using the search tool. There it goes. It was a little slow today. So as you see, there's over 4 pages of just acetone. So you'll need to narrow it down a little bit, maybe by manufacturer, or if you do have the CAS number, that'll get it to you a little bit faster. So, okay, so this is just a widget. It'll take you to all the resources, again, with some search functions. It also has an employee newsletter tool. I'll show you that real quick. So again, it has it by state. We find Georgia, it's got like 24 different types of newsletters and forms. If we go to just newsletters, where's my newsletters? Maybe it doesn't have a newsletter for Georgia specifically. Maybe not. So they've got over 67, they're more generic newsletters, as you'll see here. So they are, you know, you can do it by month. If it says it's customizable, it's a Word document, so you can easily change it. If it's not, doesn't say customizable, again, it's that PDF, but you could brand it however you want. Again, just keeping that copyright if it's there. If it's not there, some of these don't have copyright, don't worry about it. But you do need to just, again, keep it in your own intranet or emailing out to people. So that tool is there. Then it also has, this is just if it did look, if people were used to using it before, it looked a little different, they're going to let you keep it looking the same, but that is still available. This is new. They added the Safety 101. So say you're a new safety manager or just got that extra duties as assigned. This is kind of a nice little tutorial. I won't dive into it right now, but it is what it says. It's just a tutorial for best practices to putting a safety program together. So that's really new, and I think it's pretty nice. Like the LMS, I will click on this one. This takes you to the BLR webpage, and they have a ton of resources. Also, if you get stuck, they got a ton of little short videos on how to use any of their tools. You can reach out to their customer support if you need any help. Print user guide, so you have access to that. The other really key thing that you have access to is all of the BLR people and staff. So they have this hotline. And so if you only use this tool for this one thing, I would say it's worth it. So BLR has a huge network of experts, and you have a pressing question, and maybe you don't even want to dig through their tools to find an answer. Send them an email. So they guarantee within 3 business days, they'll get you a response. So, maybe before you run something by your, if you don't have in-house legal and you've got to pay for legal consulting, see what BLR has to say. Now it's not going to have the attorney-client privilege or anything like that, but, see what they have to say to start, and then you can go from there. So anything environmental health and safety, this will go to their experts and they will get you an answer completely free of charge once you have access to this program. So, all right, I did go through that really pretty fast, and there's a lot of stuff here, but again, we can always revisit if you need anything. These tabs up at the top, I think they do have a municipality. They do have a municipality, yeah, municipal worker. You go to that. They just kind of pre-filter everything for you. So if you click that tab, you'll see they kind of think of some common things in municipality. This is kind of what they're focused on. So if that's a way to start, again, this is kind of an overwhelming tool because there's so much stuff. You can start on that if you want to peruse what they have. So, okay, do we have any questions on that tool? Again, this is free. The key is for just like one per municipality. Those key people who would be key safety and risk people to use this tool. Okay, if no questions, I'm going to keep on plugging along. So this is our Safety Essentials Online. And if we go back then to our MAP services, I want to touch next on our workers' comp kit. And so you'll see when you do click on that, it does, again, just summarizes this. So, and I don't think I even did a really good introduction. Before I came to Safety National, I was safety and risk management in higher ed. And, I was on board to do all of our OSHA and EPA, and then I quickly got workers' comp. And I didn't really know a lot about workers' comp when I first got started. And I wish I would have had this tool, because this is exactly what it is. It's just workers' comp 101. It's not state specific, and it's not for, like, say, a claims adjuster who's really advanced in workers' comp. This is really just for that person who is handling workers' comp on behalf of the employer. So this tool was built by Safety National. So again, completely unlimited, completely free. And this is what it looks like. So when you get a login, you can go through the training modules and you get your badges. So it has just, again, key terminology in the world of workers' comp. It talks about things about, claim partnership, medical management, return to work. We know how important return to work is. You'll see here on my platform, I've got the stoplight report. There's an assessment you can take. I took it as I was, that's the only thing it does, you don't stay logged in for too long before it wants to say, okay, you're done with this. Sorry about that. I gotta log back in real quick. you can take this assessment, 30 minutes, and that just gives you that benchmark or that stoplight report, and you can see where you are on modes of improvement, and then it'll take you back to those modes of improvement. You can also, if you've got other teams, you can also send this assessment. If you log in, you can send it to people. Like, I didn't have anybody to send it to, so I just sent it to myself a bunch of times. But you'll see where, again, I always had problems with my return to work program because that is so hard. But we also know how very important that is. So we've got this assessment tool in here to see where you are. We also built into the learning modules, you'll find a whole library of tools. So, you know, things like a get well card. You know, I mean, hopefully you don't have to print off one. We've got one for you, but you know, your employee's been injured and they're not going to come back to work right away. So, you know, just little things like sending them a get well card, you know, first day phone calls and guidelines and checklists and even training tools. There's some PDFs in here, as you'll see, PowerPoint for just to explain on a real high level, just workers' comp to executive management, the importance of return to work for supervisors. So just a lot of tools, a lot of checklists. And so you can get to those through the library, or when you take the courses, it'll also highlight some of those for you. So as you see, you walk through, you develop your program. So this is great for, again, those folks. Maybe it's your HR folks that deal with workers' comp, so they can have access to this. Like I mentioned, completely unlimited, completely free. So if it's HR that's handling workers' comp, make sure they can get a copy of this tool. You know, if you do the stoplight, we don't see this. You know, we're risk management anyway. We don't, you know, have anything to do with premiums. It's our underwriting friends on the other side of the house. So yeah, definitely encourage this tool. So I went over that pretty fast. Are there any questions? Okay, I'm hearing nothing. I'm going to keep on going along. Those are our key things. So as I mentioned here, these are all of our, when you go to Safety National, you go to Risk Services, you go to our MAP client services, you can get access to all of these. We do have, this is a fairly new offering. If you want this, you can request this when you sign up for the MAP services. This is just some standard operating procedures for fire departments. So we've just thrown that out there as completely complimentary for anybody who wants that. So we did cover pretty much everything really quickly. Again, to register for these, you just go to our safetynational.com, you go to Risk Services, go to MAP Client Services. Go ahead and click Public Entity, but if you click a lot of these, you'll see there a lot of them are the same. Public Entity, scroll down, Register Now, put in your information, company, you know, would encourage you to put the GMA and then click, you know, the things we talked about today. For the safety essentials, that's that ELR library. If you want, you know, we'll skip these because that's for liability holders. Firefighter, if you want it. Work comp, the safety training source is that LMS. And then, as we mentioned, the Office Ergo and the safety on-demand videos, you can click those. The message you'll get is that they are within the safety training source, the LMS. And then you can click these two. Oops, I didn't even realize it did that. But you can click these two, or again, the message you get will say that they're all in the safety training source, which is the LMS. So, and then you just agree, you're not a robot. And then within 48 hours, you'll get an email on how to access all of those programs. So again, that's our MAP client services. I did want to highlight, we do have a little bit of time. I want to leave a couple minutes for question and answers. But I did want to make sure that we highlight just a few more things really quick. First being our crisis protection. So if you click on our website, you guys are under our workers' compensation program. And unfortunately, this is coming all too familiar for all of us, is crisis protection. Now, this is for all of our Safety National clients. This is not a policy. This is a benefit, completely free. And if you have the death of 2 or more employees for basically anything, any kind of domestic, man-made, any kind of crisis, we want to support you with $50,000. So we want to help with, counseling services or anything, PR services. We know those are very critical in your crisis response plan. So we want to be there to help. It is a reimbursement type basis. So you pay and then we'll reimburse you the $50,000. So hopefully you never have to use it, but I would encourage you, there's a brochure at the bottom. You can print off the brochure and this benefit notice and just put it in your emergency response plans. And then you have it there. So, and when you do tabletop, make sure you dust, when you're dusting off all your stuff, you make sure you have that available and you're familiar. We've got, our web page, you can submit right there, send a notification email, and somebody from Safety National will get back to you right away because we know how that important that is in a crisis for fast response. So just wanted to point that out and make sure you're aware of that. So that's under our risk services, crisis protection. We already talked about our MAP client services. Risk control, we're here for you, but you've got that great team, Dan's team. You usually don't need us for risk control. You can always go to them. They'll help you with your risk control. We just want to make sure you're familiar with some of these freebies we have for all of our clients. We do have a network of resources. Just want to point that out really quick. These are not free, but we do have some discounts with some vendors. So you can come back and check this out. Again, this is all on our webpage. Our auto resources, and we know driving is the #1 injury cause. So these are some progressive vendors. We've got Lifesaver is just an app that you can put on employee phones, so the phone won't work when the car's in use or the vehicle's in use. And then Azuga's cameras, out-facing cameras. Roscoe's a little bit more step up. It's out-facing cameras and internal cameras. And then Samba Safety is a motor vehicle checking system, which constantly keeps an eye on your employees' motor vehicle records and would notify you if they got their driver's license taken away for any reason. So none of these are free. These are just part of our discounted network. So I just wanted to highlight those. You can click on any of these to get a full brochure, and then that little button will hook you up with the vendors and make sure you get our Safety National discount. So just keep that in mind. That's under our network. And then I just want to leave everybody on our Safety First Grant program. We just wrapped it up for the year. We opened this up from June to August. And usually we have a winner by now. I'm not really sure where the status is, but even if you don't apply, I would encourage you, look through our winners. We have some really great ideas of what our clients have submitted over the years. We try to kind of push for innovative ideas, but there's everything from wellness programs to, I think the winner last year was a construction group with, buying exoskeletons. So that's kind of a little far on the edge, but just keep in mind, again, we do like to recognize these innovative things that teams are doing to help in their safety. And we've got some ideas here, maybe some discussions for your safety committees or anything like that. So, all right, I know I talk really fast and I went over all of that information really fast. But let me go ahead and stop sharing and see if there was anything. Oh, let me do one more. We got a little bit of time. We do have our thought leadership on our webpage too, which is really great. If you haven't already, we've got those little Carrier Chronicles. I'd recommend you subscribe to our Carrier Chronicles. You just click that and you subscribe. And then we do these little blogs, and I really like them. They're just short little articles that will come right to your email box. And they're focused on safety, workers' comp. And even if you do a newsletter or you have a little web page and you want to use any of our articles, feel free. You can give us credit or not give us credit. It's fine, whatever way. But yeah, so then you get some information, I think. So, and we also keep an eye on that. We can also let you know, but we also have, whenever we do webinars or you know, our webinar library or any other things that we post in this thought leadership tab. So also all on our webpage. So okay, with that, I think there's still some time. I'm gonna stop showing. There we go. And does anybody have any questions? Like, I know I went through all of that pretty fast. So hopefully.
Any questions, anyone? Well, doesn't look like any questions at this point in time, sir. I think you provided a lot of great information and a great service and support. So I really appreciate your time and everybody else's time on there. With that said, I'm going to say thank you, Sarah. Great job. I really appreciate it.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, Dan. And yeah, I'll have everybody go to you if they have anything else or want any kind of follow up. I'll just filter through you, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day.